Good afternoon, everybody. Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's been an interesting day. Got Jerry to her appointment, and granted, there was a lot of stuff that was being said that kind of was slightly confusing, but the gist of it is the chemotherapy that she's been going through is working. Her tumors are shrinking, and the bone masses are recalcifying, which is all good. Even the tumor around her, even her kidney tumor is shrinking. It's gone from an 8.3 centimeter to a 5 by 2 centimeter mass, which is awesome. Then what was discussed was the quality of life with the chemo pill, which Jerry has not been taking for about 15 days. The doctor and Jerry discussed it. They talked about either decreasing her Cabometyx dosage or something like that, so she wouldn't have as many problems with the side effects that did not. The side effects kind of altered or changed a little bit, but not enough for the doctors to be satisfied, and they wanted to know what Jerry wanted to do. And the reason why they wanted to know what she wanted to do is for the quality of life. Now, I know Jerry had decided on she had basically helped the doctors decide on a course of action. And at the time when they talked about it, I was just sitting there going, well, okay, let's see here. She's been on this chemotherapy for a couple good months, maybe about 5 months worth. And it's caused the tumors to shrink and the bones to heal, and a lot of positive stuff. Now, the negative stuff with her having to do wound care on a regular basis because how the wounds were reacting to the drugs, to the medication, however you want to put it, the thrush or whatever you want to call it in her mouth, and the burn scars, or what looks like, really bad third degree sunburn type situation. And I agree with Jerry that, okay, let's do what the doctor is suggesting, which is basically, instead of taking her Cabometyx every day of the week, she's going to take it every other day. And then once she runs out of her current dosage, they're going to lower it to 20 milligrams instead of the current 40 milligrams. Hey, you know what? I don't understand all this stuff. As long as things are going in the positive direction instead of the negative direction, let's do it. Now, after we got done with the doctor's office and whatnot, Jerry was talking to me about how she was trying to make a decision on quality of life, so it's not as much being put on my shoulders. And I just kind of went, time out. Don't worry about me. Worry about your health. Get yourself healthy. I will worry about myself as needed. But I do appreciate the fact that she was trying to take into consideration a lot of stuff has been placed on my shoulders that I am either A, not used to, or B, just don't fully understand. It has been an adventure of learning new stuff and dealing with stuff that I'm not familiar with or was not comfortable with until I had to deal with it. As I've said in multiple videos, Jerry has taken me beyond my comfort zone and made me a better person for it. But the thing is, the doctor's visit today was great. She did her blood testing and did her chemotherapy, or not chemotherapy, her immunotherapy, and talked to her doctor about the scans that they did a couple weeks back. Everything looking on the up and up. Now, for myself, I've already started implementing plans or actions to get a hold of the right doctors and do the things that I need to for my health. One being the colonoscopy. Two is I'm going to jump on the insurance website to see if I can get a dentist and a eye doctor, because I have not had the time to do that. I've been so ultra focused on Jerry, and now that we've got various plans of action that we've been using to take care of or cater, however you want to put, to Jerry's needs. Needs, not wants, needs. So we have a plan of action for dealing with Jerry's chemotherapy and all the things that have to do with it, like soft foods, bland foods, easy foods for her to swallow, things that help her, from having to irritate her gums and mouth and throat and all that fun stuff. That's the one thing the doctor was more worried about when it came to the side effects than the sores on her back. It was her throat, because, well, without a good proper diet, because of her throat being irritated, she's going to not be able to get enough of, or the proper amounts of nutrition that her body needs to help her fight this ordeal. And of course, part of my brain was going, oh great, worst case scenario is I have to change out an IV drip several times a day to make sure she's getting enough fluids and whatnot into her body that she needs, that she cannot do on her own because her throat is too messed up to swallow. And I will either have to learn how to do that on my own, or be hoping things get settled with Social Security and all that to get a home health aide person. No, I don't know how Social Security operates, but I have a lawyer who does, because she does it all the time in New York. So she's working with Social Security and whatnot to get everybody on the same page, basically. All I know is she is disabled. She can do, I don't know why people want to consider this a job, just because it earns her money. I don't know. But to me, a job is a 9 to 5. It's not a whenever I please jump on my phone and record a video. To me, this is not a job. To me, this is just a means of earning money. If that qualifies it as a job, okay, so I have a full-time and a part-time job, just to make ends meet. Now, if me having the full-time job at the college and then this, and Jerry having this, is means for Social Security to deny us the aid that she needs, then, yeah, pooey on, not pooey on you. What was that old term that Theodore Roosevelt used to use? Oh, bully on you. If all the documentation that we have is not enough for Social Security to say this woman has a severe, possible, lethal, if not life-threatening ailment, yes, she is never going to be out of stage 4 cancer. Once you're on stage 4 cancer, that's it. It's only a means of trying to make life comfortable, or seeing how long life can be prolonged. Like the doctor was saying, her type of cancer, or her level of cancer, is one of those things where you can have 3 different cancer patients. And all 3 of them are given the exact same information. You have stage 4 cancer, you have 6 months to live. Well, one person might die 6 days from that diagnosis. Another person might die a month before they die, the estimated time of death. And the third and final person could live for another 20, 30, 40 years, depending on a lot of different factors that even doctors don't understand, like how high is their spirit, how much positive energy they have, how positive is their life, how comfortable is their life. how good is the quality of her life. So nobody knows when a person's going to die when they're given a diagnosis of, oh yeah, you've got stage 4 cancer. We don't know how long you have to live. Thankfully to Jerry's resilience and good spirits and positive energy, things are going in the right direction. The cancer cells are shrinking, the bones are rehardening, the cancer around her kidney is shrinking. They showed side-by-side comparisons of what her body looked like, her bone structure looked like with the cancer 6 months ago, and then from last week within the last 3 or 4 weeks. And you can see that the before picture is lit up. I mean, literally lit up like a Christmas tree with cancer cells. The new one, oh yeah, you can see a spot here, a spot there, a spot around the kidney, spot on the spine. You can see little spots, but it's not lit up like the 4th of July, which I was like, yes. But we still have a hill to climb. We still have hills and valleys to deal with ahead of us. We're going to be out of the woods, but we're not going to be out of danger. Which is awesome. I think it's the best news I've had in a long time. Now it's time to focus. I didn't say this to Jerry yet, but I wanted to tell her after we got home, but then she got busy doing her vlog, and I came in here to do my vlog, and now she's talking with her sisters and whatnot. For they're having their St. Pat's usual festivities. But I want to say, not that I'm ignoring the fact that she's still got health issues, but it's now time to kind of focus some of our energy on my health, because I've been starting to see problems that I'm worried about. Like, it's my left side, not my right side, but I've been having, when I get too stressed out, I've been having flare-ups of pain from my bicep all the way down to my elbow. And I'm like, okay, between needing a doctor, needing a dentist, an eye doctor, an actual psychiatrist, not a therapist, not somebody I just talk to, I need to start getting help. And my biggest worry with all that is how high is my medical bill going to get? Now, if I go through insurance, it shouldn't be that much money. Copay plus my insurance only covers so much on medications. I don't know. Excuse me, my ears have been itchy. But today so far looks like it's been a very good day. I'm hoping the whole rest of my 4-day weekend is going to be a good day. I have to go in tomorrow for a catering event. I'm really kind of like, I'm looking forward to helping out with the catering event, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I didn't realize it was going to be a 4-day weekend, and if I knew it was going to be a 4-day weekend, I would have said no, because I could use all 4 days to have a day to chillax, have another day to work on laundry, and then have 2 days to either work by myself in here or with Jerry in her craft room. So I'm just kind of like, well, let's see here. I know the 23rd, which is next week, she has a doctor's appointment that I've asked off. Oops, I moved that too far ahead. Yeah, 23rd, which is Wednesday, I have to take the day off because of her medical appointment. It's a day-long event. And then they want me to stay until 8 p.m. on the 24th because of another catering event. So that's going to be a very long day for me. So I'm kind of glad that I'm taking the whole day of the 23rd off. Because that will allow me to do my best to get as much sleep as possible the night before. Because if I'm going to be there from 6 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. at night, yeah, it's going to be a 14-hour day. 14 to 15-hour day with no downtime until I get home. So by the time I get home, I will be crashing hardcore and then getting up on the 25th to do more work, and then the 28th to the 1st, or the 28th into the 4th of April, I have that spring break week. But I have a Monday appointment for an EKG, and then on the 1st, April Fool's Day, which I hope the doctors don't try to play any April Fool's jokes with me, because I will not be appreciative, because the doctors will be fiddle farting with a part of my anatomy that I don't like people fiddle farting with. I don't even like, my own body messing up that part of my body, because it's just uncomfortable. But anyhow, I have a lot of extra things that I've got to deal with for myself. The staying extra for catering is for both me and Jerry. But things are going good. Good news all around. You guys might not remember me mentioning a particular book that I got as a friend mail gift. This particular writer, let's just use simple words, Jim. They had, in front of the book, they had a brief about the gentleman and his love for Norse mythology from childhood. And I've only read the introduction, the beginning, the very first chapter, basically. It's called The Players, where they talk about the three major gods that most people know about. I'm surprised they didn't mention any others, but they talked about Odin, talked about Thor, and then talked about Loki. They didn't mention any of the other gods that most people are not familiar with, like Freya, Phrygia and Frey, Heimdall, Peter, or any of the lesser gods. They didn't even talk about Hela, Hela. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you who watch the Marvel Universe, Thor Ragnarok, have seen the actress that played Hela. Unfortunately, once again, Hollywood has not taken into the accounts of what Norse mythology describes her as. Hela is described as a tainted goddess. She is known as a goddess of death for two reasons. One, just her characteristics are just, how would I describe her? She's the one goddess that even I, studying Norse mythology, would not want to deal with. She has a very nasty disposition. But let me describe her physique. She was born afflicted. So one half of her body looks like a beautiful woman, a woman that any man would want to be with. But then you look at her other side, and her other side, as it's described by many different people who've delved into Norse mythology, the other half of her looks like a corpse, literally a rotting, decaying corpse. And I wonder, at first I wondered, well, why would she be considered the goddess of death? Well, when half of her body is basically dying and decomposing, or basically like a recording of a corpse decomposing, just being replayed over and over, while the other half looks like somebody who can basically con you or trick you into damnation. She is also the daughter of Loki. See, that's the thing is, in the Marvel Universe, Hela is supposed to be Thor's elder sister. No, she's the daughter of Loki. Just like Finrin, the Hellhound, that is supposed to herald in the end times, according to Norse mythology, was a child of Loki. Yes, Loki bore not only human-looking children, but bestial animals, like Finrin, and I forgot the name of the serpent that supposedly kills Thor. So, like, the closest show that I've seen to depict Norse life is literally the Vikings from the History Channel. Now everybody wants to say, well, this movie or that movie or this movie or that movie depicts Viking-like life. I have not seen a movie yet that comes close to Viking, historical Viking type show. For one, all these shows back in the 60s and 70s that people were talking about, it's like, I'm sorry. There is no helmets with horns in any of the Norse mythology books I've ever read. The horns from the animals that people think that goes on the helmets, no. No. Just because they look like cow's horns, nobody can understand why there would be cow's horns buried with Viking burial grounds. It's because those horns were drinking vessels, not ornaments for their helmets. But I'm really, really getting, I'm really wanting to take some of my vacation time and read a buttload of this book. We'll see, because part of my problem, this is my problem. There are days where I don't feel like reading. There are days I don't feel like doing anything, not even playing my games. I need to find stable ground or some way to stop goofing around and start reading, start doing stuff instead of just goofing off. Part of that is my hyperactivity and my attention deficit disorder, but some of it, and I will say this to myself, about myself, a lot of it, not just some, but a lot of it is just simple procrastination. Yes. I will say that I do procrastinate, because there are times where I'm looking around going, I could do this, this, and this, but do I really want to? When am I going to do it? In what way am I going to do it? What fashion? What method? What's going to spur me on to finalize what keeps on floating around in my head into an actual finished room? That's why a lot of times when Jerry wants to reorganize stuff and stuff gets moved from one room to another, sometimes it gets moved right back in there, or just stays in the room that it was moved into until we know we have a purpose for the room. Like right now, the guest room has become dumping ground 1. And most of that stuff has either come out of her craft room or just other parts of the house that we use the most of. Unfortunately, my office had also become a dumping ground for just don't know where to put it, don't have room to put it. Let's just throw it into a room. Problem is, I'm trying to reuse this room, so I'm now like, we have to get this stuff cleared out. We have to finally get it all cleared out and quit just moving it around from room to room to room. Like, I have 2 cardboard boxes for 2 electronic pieces of equipment. One is a vaporizer, one is a mini blender, electric blender for her shakes. They're, one stuffed into the other one. The reason why they're in here instead of in a storage place, instead of in recycling, is because Jerry is adamant about keeping it for a certain amount of time. I can kind of understand, because let's say, it has a 2-month money back guarantee. So you want to keep the box, because if the thing breaks down for one reason or another in 2 months, you want to be able to A, either get your money back, or B, get a replacement unit. So the best way to ship it to the company to get either your money back or a new piece of equipment is to put it back in its original box with its instructions and all that 9 yards to send to them. I can understand that, especially here in America, when a good large percentage of American people are known as throwaway people. Throwaway people will get something. If it works, they'll keep it and use it. If it doesn't work, they'll just throw it in the garbage or whatever. A lot of times they don't think about sending it back for the money, or saying, hey, had this for X amount of time, it broke down, don't know why, can I get a replacement? They'd rather throw it away and spend money on a replacement instead of just going to the store they bought it from or whatever to get a replacement. Because most stores within 30 to 60 days will replace it. I know Walmart does, because I've already done that once. But the thing is, 9 times out of 10, we'll get the box. We'll put the box in a out of sight, out of mind place. And then come years later, we're like me, I'm like, okay, I can't live like this no more. I have to purge. And I'll come across the box going, we don't even have this unit no more. Why do we still have the box? Because instead of throwing the box away in the first place, we put it in a storage in a dark corner someplace where it gets forgotten. So, those are all a lot of things that I've got a good long list of stuff that I need to be doing, that I need to stop procrastinating and just get up and do it. But a lot of times what happens, especially as of late, and this is I don't even know who to blame it on. I'm not even looking to blame it on anybody. It's just something that happens. But what has given me issue is I'll sit down with Jerry and go, okay, what are we going to do for today? Or I'll sit down the day before and go, what's the plans for tomorrow? Especially since I know I have the day off. And she'll sometimes go, I don't know. I don't really have any desires right now. Okay, well, if that's the case and you still feel that way, tomorrow morning, I'm just going to end up doing whatever I want to do or whatever I know I need to do. And what will happen, and it's happened more cases than not, is I'll come in here, I'll do my morning routine, my day off morning routine, and start making a plan for what I want to do, and or I'll just start doing stuff. Whether it's cleaning up in here or cleaning up out in the living room, whatever. And then hour or two later, I'm not even done. I'm barely starting because it takes me some time to get everything in order to start doing what I finally want to do, Jay will be like, hey, I feel good today. Let's do some work in the craft room, or let's do something together. And I get frustrated and decide that I don't want to do nothing but veg, because my problem is, and I know it's all my problem, is once I get in my mind exactly what I want to do and start implementing what's in my mind, if I am disturbed during that process, the whole blueprint, schematic, whatever you want to call it, goes flying out the window. It just blows right out the window. I laugh at my wife because she wants to be an independent woman. Well, obviously, the idea of being an independent person, woman, male, doesn't matter. She has no clue what it is, because to me, okay, you want to be independent, you want to independently do a project. That means you're going to do it all yourself. Nobody's going to be backing you up. Nobody's going to be standing off their sideline waiting for you to give them instructions. That's what it means in my brain to be independent. You independently do your own project. You don't independently sit there and go, I want to be independent, here's my plans, but you've got to do it all. No, I'm sorry, that's not independence. That's, I don't even know what to call it. I mean, I don't want to say the word I'm thinking of because it might get a lot of people in an uproar, but I mean, I can understand at this point in time, because of her health, she needs a lot of help. But before she got sick, before cancer, before the whole 9 yards, she was the same way. I want to be independent. I want to be able to do things independently. Sounds great. I'm already an independent person because I do my own shit. No. Her idea of independence is she's going to come up with an idea or a plan, and then she's going to have you come along and do the bulk of physical work while she just sits there and dictates what gets done. I'm sorry, that's not independent. Independent is you come up with the idea, you come up with the plan, and you work it. You do it yourself. Because if you're not doing it yourself, that's not independence. That's cooperative work, if you'd even call that sometimes. I mean, I remember my parents. Mom's still the same way, but Dad was definitely this way. Dad was a very independent person. He did not ask for any help of any kind unless he knew he could not do it himself. But the thing was, he would ask you to assist him. Now, the way he wanted have you assist him is you basically listen to him. He's going to do the bulk of the work. You're going to either hand him tools or hold something in place while he locked it down. Okay. If it was a job that needed more than 2 hands, yeah, he would ask for help or find a way to do it with his own 2 hands. Now, my father was this way for 2 reasons. One, if something went wrong, the only person to blame is himself, not using somebody else as a scapegoat because they did not do it the way he wanted it done. Second thing about Dad was simple. If you want it done and you want it done your way, do it yourself. Because the only way it's going to get done right without any problems is if you do it by yourself. I have thankfully gotten Jerry to, I don't want to use the words he uses because they sound too controlling, but I finally gotten Jerry to understand that if she's going to want me to do a project, build a set of shelves using the components that came in the kit and the instructions, that either A, you leave me to do it by myself, or B, you just follow my lead. You do what I ask you to do. You hand me pieces if I need you to hand me pieces. Otherwise, leave me alone. Because, one, if you're going to sit there, not even read or understand the instructions, and try to dictate how the components fit together, you're going to confuse or upset me in one way, shape, or form, and it's basically not going to get done correctly, and it's going to be loosey goosey or unstable or just doesn't look right in one way, shape, or form. So Jerry has learned that if there's something she wants me to put together, like shelving units, ask me politely, maybe remind me politely if I don't get it done within a certain amount of time. But don't sit there and dictate every little freaking thing that needs to be done in the process of building the shelf system. Because the last time she did it, the shelf system was royally screwed up. I mean, I drilled in the wrong way, so it broke through the drill hole and basically cracked the shelf and basically was not usable. We had to find a way to exchange the whole thing for a new unit. Well, in New York, that's not too hard because IKEA is just around the block. Here in Missouri, you want to exchange a component that you bought from IKEA, you've got to drive all the way to St. Louis. And that's something I want to do when I'm already upset by the factor that the unit got messed up in the first place because somebody had to be... Yeah. You can figure out what I'm trying to say. I mean, I love my wife. Don't get me wrong. We have a very strong, loving relationship. It's just there are certain things that is like, unless you need help, I'm not going to be there. Or unless I need help, don't come around every 5 minutes saying, do you need help, you need help, you need help. No, that's just going to be an aggravation. But we've learned in the last this is going to be 2022. So in the last 22 years, we're starting to realize, hey, this is how it's got to be done. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good picture. It's not going to pan out the way you want it to, or not even going to pan out looking like a decent mosaic. It's all the things that, couples need to learn if they want their relationship to last a long time is, hey, he's got his way of doing things and nothing gets broken. Everything comes out right if you don't bug him. But if you bug him, things come out a little broken. And Jay and I had a little conversation going to our doctors this morning about the situation of her health. And she said something to me that made me go, you might be onto something there. She's talking about how that one of the things that this cancer has helped her do is learn patience. Because, as she put it, when there are things going on that are not within your control, not yours to control, she becomes impatient because she wants to understand why she can't be in control. She wants to understand why it's a situation that cannot be under her control. She also said to me about me learning patience and tolerance with her, which I almost laughed at her for, because it's not that I don't have patience or tolerance. It's the fact that when she does not understand where I'm coming from, or does not understand that I feel like I'm being controlled and that she's controlling, or things of that nature, that's when I become intolerant. Because I'm not something to be controlled. I'm like a hurricane. I will come in and blow things around and move stuff around, and the end results could be positive, could be negative. It really depends on what's causing me to be upset and just all over the place. Sometimes it's my own doings because my brain doesn't want to settle down and it's all over the place, and I'm trying to focus on a job at hand and I can't, and Jay doesn't understand why I can't. And that's when things go awry. So I'm thinking that this can't. I don't like the factor that she has cancer. I would not wish cancer on anybody for any reason. But one of the things I have realized due to this cancer is we've both learned a lot. We've both seen a lot of things that are either things that we cannot understand or we can't get a grasp of, or not that I want to control the situation, but get things under some form of control that we can stabilize her issues, her side effects, the whole nine. And we had a little bit of an event Tuesday that caused her to miss the appointment that she went to today. And I don't want to go into extreme details because the details don't really matter. But the point is, she was over ready to be Miss Independent, to do her own thing and not rely on other people to help her with certain simple things. So what ended up happening is while I was putting stuff in the car that we take with us to her immunotherapy, she was hoping that she would be able to stand up on her own and get out of the rollator. And she was trying to use the door jamb, the wall around the door, to help pull her up. Well, unfortunately, with her rollator, the wheels might be locked, but if the rollator is on certain types of flooring, like linoleum, it can easily slide. All I can say is, one, I'm happy that she had plenty of experience from volleyball and learning how to safely fall by doing a tuck and roll. That, and the fact the way she slid off the rollator, or the way that she slid down as the rollator was scooting away from her, she didn't hurt anything. Now, granted, it took 35 to 45 minutes to get her off the ground and back into a stable sitting position so we can get her into the rollator. I was so worried the whole time that she was going to do further damage to her right leg. But she was barely using her right knee and right leg for support. She had her arms. I basically got a dining room chair for her to grab a hold of to help her push herself up, because I could not lift her. I'm not strong enough to lift her totally up off of her butt. So I was holding onto the chair. She was grabbing onto the chair and using her one good leg, trying to get her one good leg up underneath her, to use that one leg to push her up into a different chair that we had propped against the door. But it took us a few minutes to figure out the mechanics to do that, because it's like, here I am putting my full weight behind this one chair, reaching over the chair, grabbing the backside of the brace, trying to pull on that to pull her up as she is using her quote unquote good bad leg to push up, to get up off the ground. So granted, she didn't break anything. She doesn't feel like she hurt herself any further than necessary. Granted, her knees ache a little bit and that kind of thing. But I was like today, as I was helping her out of the house, I was like, okay, do not attempt to get out of your rollator while I'm putting the stuff in the car. But the thing was, I didn't have to put anything in the car, because I was like, oh, we got to get her in the car. All right, let's take the bags, throw them in the car, come back inside, help her get to the back door, and hold on to the rollator so she can pull herself upright, and then get the rollator outside of the door so she can sit back down and get herself to the car. So we didn't have any incidents today, but my whole brain was just like, no, 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 hold. Don't you dare move, you stupid rollator, because I'm holding on to it with all my strength. Like, you're not budging one freaking iota. But at the same time, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't push forward, knocking her out of the chair or knocking her off her feet. So I'm just like pushing down on the rollator with all my weight, my 198 pounds worth of weight. And I'm like, this thing moves and I'm going to get peeved. Luckily, we didn't have any incidents today. She has lost more weight. She's down to 318, 315, somewhere around there. There's always that weird 3-pound difference when you're trying to go, okay, the overall weight with the brace and this and this and this, okay, we got to subtract. So either she's 113 or she's 115 after subtracting the dead weight of the brace. Because the brace is a good 3 to 5 pounds. So it's like, oh, okay, her weight's going down. Our only main concern with that is the volume or the speed that she's losing weight. Because that could trigger a lot of different other health issues having to do with her diabetes and lack of or loss of. We're more worried about the loss of muscle over actual over cellulose, because one of the things that we know, those of us who've been dealing with our own health issues, is muscle tissue weighs more than cellulose or fat. So we're worried about that. But anyhow, oh shoot. Yep. I'm sorry, folks. This is another long video. Anyhow, everything's going good here. I'm going to start focusing on my health needs and whatnot. That now that we've got Jerry kind of stabilized and we understand her needs and whatnot, it's no longer a focus totally on Jerry because she's got cancer, but focus enough on Jerry to make sure that her needs are met, which for the most part they are. The only need that I wish I could have more time to deal with is her wound care and taking care of, things that she can't do by herself. Other than that, everything's kosher. Everything's on the up and up. So, anywho, hey, I have a 4-day weekend. I may, probably not Friday, but Saturday I may do a live. I'm still undecided on that because it depends on what happens between today and Friday night after catering. Because I might come home going, hey, good night. I might wake up Saturday going, let's try to do an early live session, like right before or right after dinner. So like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or 6 and 7 o'clock at night. I don't know. I know most of you work weekdays, so I don't want to do one like tonight. Friday is a different thing because it's the start of the weekend. So we'll see. Hopefully I can get, if I can get Jerry to be in it with me, that would be great. I like the live sessions where we're together, because then we can both put our input into a question from our viewers. So we'll see what happens. Anyhow, you guys have a good evening. Enjoy the rest of the St. Patrick's Day. Whether you have a 4-day weekend because of St. Patrick's Day, or you're enjoying the festivities of St. Patrick's Day. I know if Jerry could eat corned beef, I would have probably made corned beef, but Jerry and I are the only two who like corned beef. Mom is not a big fan of it. She barely likes the boiled cabbage. But anyhow, have St. Patrick's Day any way you want to. There's no like set, you have to eat corned beef and cabbage on this day because, you know, that's what they had back in the day during St. Patrick's visitation to Ireland. I don't know. But anyhow, before I leave, give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. You can input your comments about this video in the comment box. I will deal with them, address them, whatever I need to. If you're new to my channel and you want to join for the positivity of my channel, go for it. I am trying to deal less and less with the negative stuff. It just takes too much energy out of me. So, until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day. Bye.